In the early 2000s, governments, corporations, and media networks feared a name they couldn't see, a name that didn't exist on paper, a voice that spoke from the shadows of the internet. He called himself Sabu. To millions online, he was a revolutionary. To law enforcement, he was a nightmare. And to the hackers who followed him, he was a leader. But what none of them knew was that one day, Sabu would become the very thing they hated most. This is the story of Hector Monsegur, the public face of LulzSec, and the man who secretly helped the FBI bring down his own world. To understand Sabu, you have to understand the internet of the late 2000s. This was a time before massive cybersecurity budgets, before social media platforms were locked down, before corporations truly understood how vulnerable they were. Online forums and IRC chat rooms became breeding grounds for a new culture, one that rejected authority, mocked power, and valued technical skill above all else. Out of this environment emerged Anonymous, a loose, chaotic movement with no leaders, or so it claimed. Anonymous didn't need hierarchy, it needed spectacle, and spectacle was exactly what was coming next. In 2011, a splinter group appeared seemingly overnight. They called themselves LulzSec, short for Lulz Security. Their mission wasn't subtle. They hacked for the laughs, for embarrassment, for exposure. Websites went down, databases were dumped, passwords were leaked for the world to see. And standing at the center of it all was a loud, charismatic voice, Sabu. Through IRC chats and Twitter, Sabu didn't just announce attacks, he performed them. He taunted corporations, mocked law enforcement, and rallied followers like a digital war general. LulzSec wasn't just hacking systems, they were hacking attention. Sabu's power wasn't just technical, it was psychological. He understood something critical. Most hacks succeed before the code is even written. LulzSec relied on DDoS attacks to overwhelm servers, SQL injections to expose poorly secured databases, social engineering to trick insiders into opening doors. But more importantly, Sabu controlled the narrative. Every attack came with a press-style announcement, sarcastic commentary, public data dumps meant to shame victims. IRC chat rooms became command centers, Twitter became a megaphone, and thousands watched in real time as systems fell. LulzSec didn't start small. They went straight for giants. One of their most infamous targets was Sony. User data, emails, internal systems. Millions of accounts were exposed, not just once, but repeatedly. Then came the hack of PBS. After the network aired a documentary LulzSec didn't like, fake news articles were posted directly onto the site. The message was clear: no one is untouchable. Governments took notice, the FBI took notice, and quietly. The hunt for Sabu had already begun. In June 2011, Hector Monsegur was arrested in New York. No dramatic raid, no public announcement, just silence. And then something unexpected happened. Sabu didn't disappear. He kept tweeting, kept posting, kept leading LulzSec operations. Because while the world thought Sabu was still free, he was already cooperating with the FBI. From that moment on, many LulzSec and anonymous attacks were happening with law enforcement watching from the inside. Chat logs were monitored, targets were mapped, arrests were planned quietly. Sabu became the most controversial figure in hacktivist history. When the truth finally came out, the reaction was explosive. To hackers, Sabu was a traitor, a sellout, a snake who sacrificed others to save himself. To law enforcement, he was invaluable. His cooperation led to multiple arrests across different countries. People who trusted him, people who followed him, went to prison. And Sabu? He received time served. No long sentence, no public trial, just a quiet exit from the world he once ruled. So here's the uncomfortable question. Was Sabu a villain, or a human being choosing survival? Some argue he prevented greater harm. Others argue he destroyed trust forever. Hacktivist movements rely on anonymity and loyalty. Once those are broken, everything collapses. Sabu proved one truth the internet often forgets. behind every username is a real person with fear, pressure, and limits. The story of Hector Monsegur teaches us powerful lessons. Online actions have real-world consequences. Charismatic leaders are still human, and fallible movements without accountability are vulnerable from within. Power built on secrecy can collapse instantly. And perhaps the most important lesson of all, when identity is hidden, trust becomes the most dangerous currency of all. Because in the digital world, the loudest voice in the room may already be listening for someone else.